Now, from Nebraska's trusted news source, this is Channel 8 News at 5.
Coming up tonight on the news, some long-awaited COVID antibody pills are now being stopped. We're going to tell you why.
Plus, if you're a small business owner or entrepreneur, you'll want to hear about a bill being debated soon at the state capitol.
But first, an overnight standoff south of Lincoln ends with one person dead.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. The standoff took place at a home in Adams.
As many of you know, that's in Gage County. It's located southeast of Lincoln and northeast of Beatrice. Now, Channel 8 was on the scene throughout the night, and here's what we know as we get you the very latest. The standoff started a little before 10 o'clock Monday night. The Gage County Sheriff's Office responded to the initial 911 call when a woman reported that her husband had beaten her, pointed a gun at her, and then shot her in the hand when she pushed the gun away. She and her children were able to get out of the home. The children were not hurt, and the woman was taken to Bryan Medical Center with non-life-threatening injuries. Deputies and a patrol SWAT team surrounded the home and tried repeatedly to contact the man inside. As the sun came up, the standoff continued. Freeman Public Schools announced it was starting classes late because of it. And then, about 9 hours into the standoff, officials broke through the front door of the home with an armored vehicle in order to get inside. The man was found dead of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. No officers were hurt. Now, the name of the man found inside the house was released just a little bit ago. He's identified as 40-year-old Thomas Sharp. The trial is being moved for the man accused of killing Lincoln police investigator Mario Herrera.
The court says after extensive media coverage and publicity, it would make it impossible for Felipe Vasquez to receive a fair trial in southeast Nebraska. Vasquez is accused of shooting and killing Herrera in August of 2020 while police attempted to serve a warrant. The trial will now be held in Columbus and is scheduled to begin March 7th. State senators will soon debate a bill aimed at helping small businesses thrive in Nebraska.
Channel 8's Ariana Martinez joins us live from outside the Capitol to explain how it would work. Ariana.
LB 450 would create innovation hubs for small businesses to access all across the state. These iHubs would be a place for entrepreneurs to seek business advice as well as stay up to date with the latest technology.
Small businesses are the lifeblood of any community.
And I think it's important as a state, as we go towards the future, to prioritize this to make sure that we're empowering our small business entrepreneurs to grow and be successful so they can employ more Nebraskans overall.
Senator Terrell McKinney introduced LB 450 in an effort to help economic development throughout the state by creating innovation hubs.
Innovation hubs or innovation hub program for the state would be a place within our communities where individuals who are in small business or entrepreneurs can go to get assistance with starting up their business, accounting, and things like that.
This bill would expand services already being offered. Each hub would consist of a university, research center, or institution, and at least one economic development organization.
This hub situation has actually been around in Nebraska for quite some time and has actually been done through the universities and through the community colleges and even some of the high schools in the state already. So to have the state backing behind it would actually be substantial.
As technology advances, these iHubs would help small businesses stay up to date.
The bill has stated that they're trying to get, internet technology and cybersecurity throughout all of rural areas, and that is phenomenal for the state of Nebraska. Cybersecurity is one of the #1 reasons why some of the small businesses fail is because they get attacked.
If we're not doing anything to build up our small businesses and entrepreneurs, we're going to be left behind.
The Lincoln Independent Business Association has not decided how they stand on this bill specifically, but spoke on what issues they're hearing from small businesses in Lincoln.
Both the people to work and people to come out and shop in those stores, they're looking for ways that maybe government can make life a little easier for them instead of a little harder for them.
Now, in order for these innovation hubs to become a reality, the nearly $600,000 would have to come from the American Rescue Plan Act funds over the next 2 years. And this bill should hit the debate floor later this week. Reporting live in front of the state capitol, Ariana Martinez, Channel 8 News.
All right, thank you very much for the live report, Ariana. Several types of COVID antibody pills are being halted until further notice, officials saying they're not working against the Omicron variant.
The FDA making a big move and revoking its emergency authorization on several of those pills. Rely Care Pharmacy here in Lincoln has been trying to get COVID antibody pills for months. They're now looking at Pfizer's pill, which according to lab tests was effective against Omicron. They hope to still get those pills in the coming weeks, but say this is going to slow the process down. They've received many calls from people looking for them.
A lot of it has been more in anticipation. People really, again, just like masks, they would like to have them on hand just in case, or know the supply or the availability is there through their local pharmacy if they need it.
The FDA says if the other pills prove effective against future variants, they could potentially be reauthorized, and we'll have more on that story at 6 o'clock tonight. The mask mandate in Omaha will remain in place, at least for now.
That's right. A Douglas County District Judge today denied a temporary injunction to the mandate. She did say as litigation on this continues, the Omaha City Council has the power to change it. Now, the state has argued the Douglas County Health Director didn't have the power to put the mandate in place in the first place.
This comes as Douglas County reaches 452 people hospitalized for COVID-19. That's the highest number since the start of the pandemic. 20 pediatric patients are included in that number, and 86 of the hospitalizations are needing ICU level care. And just today, Douglas County announcing more than 1,200 new cases and 7 deaths. We'll, of course, get an update from our local health officials tomorrow. Now to an incredible story out of Massachusetts.
A driver escaping serious injury after a piece of concrete fell from an interstate overpass, smashing his windshield.
That piece of concrete went through my windshield. Came right down, missed me, luckily. Just banged my hand because it was on my steering wheel, but it went flying through the car and landed in the back seat.
Boy, that would scare the heck out of you, wouldn't it? The man said initially he didn't know what happened until suddenly he couldn't see. He was able to get off the highway and pull over. Despite the concrete coming through the left side of his windshield, he only suffered minor injuries. Officials are inspecting the overpass, and at this point, they haven't shut down any streets or roads.
That would be terrifying.
Oh.
John, it's raining concrete. How's your weather looking?
That one doesn't show up on radar as easily. Temperatures outside today much colder than what they were 24 hours ago. Today we were struggling to get out of the teens into the low 20s. Lincoln eventually made it to 22 degrees, but you can see compared to 24 hours ago, temperatures running anywhere from 6 degrees colder in Columbus to as much as 17 degrees colder in Hastings. The air temperature as of 5 o'clock is sitting at 20 degrees in Lincoln, 22 in Friend, but already down to 19 degrees in York and 18 degrees in Hastings. Winds remain out of the north, anywhere between a calm wind to about 8 miles per hour, and that is giving us wind chill values just a few degrees cooler. It feels like it's 9 in Columbus, it feels like it's 12 in Aurora, 11 in Hastings, and it feels like with a calm wind right now in Lincoln, no wind chill at all to deal with at this moment. Satellite imagery has some clouds overhead right now, but skies will begin to clear as we go through the next several hours. In fact, we'll have clear skies overnight, and that's going to allow our temperatures to really drop. 15 degrees by 8 o'clock. We'll be down to 11 degrees by 10 o'clock. Tomorrow morning, some of you may wake up to temperatures at or below zero. We do see some warmer temperatures coming our way. We'll talk about that. Plus, a storm system that's about 4,000 miles away. How and when that may impact us in my Storm Alert Team forecast.
All right. Thank you very much, John. Now to international news. Tensions are high in Ukraine as Russia continues to mass troops on the border.
Amid fears of a possible invasion, U.S. and NATO allies are urging a diplomatic solution. ABC's Elizabeth Schultze has the latest in Washington.
As the crisis in Ukraine intensifies, the U.S. and its NATO allies are seeking to project unity in the face of Russian aggression.
Spoken with every one of our NATO allies in person, virtually, and we're all on the same page.
President Biden with a stark warning that Russia will face severe consequences if its more than 100,000 troops on the border with Ukraine invade. A senior Biden administration official tells ABC News economic consequences may include export controls and sanctions as part of an attempt to cripple Russia's economy.
There are going to be serious economic consequences if he moves.
And while diplomatic conversations are set to continue between France, Germany, Russia, and Ukraine in Paris Wednesday, the U.S. and NATO countries already sent weapons to Ukraine and are prepared to offer military support to NATO members in Eastern Europe. 8,500 U.S. troops are now on heightened alert for rapid deployment to the region. The Pentagon adding that number could increase. President Biden says some of those troops could move into Eastern European countries in the near term, but reiterated no American or NATO combat troops will go into Ukraine.
We have no intention of putting American forces or NATO forces in Ukraine.
What is being deployed? Ammunition, weapons, and other equipment bound for Ukraine. Russia still vows it has no plans to invade, yet it's ramping up its troop presence on the Ukrainian border and sending military trains to neighboring Belarus.
Along with broad sanctions on Russia, President Biden says he's also considering personal sanctions on Russian President Vladimir Putin. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
And still ahead on the news tonight, it's a run that could go all the way to the top.
A female contestant making history on the show Jeopardy! That story after the break.
The DQ chicken strip basket and rotisserie-style chicken bites.
A Jeopardy champion is continuing her winning ways, taking the second all-time winningest spot last night.
Amy Schneider is blowing away her competition, and now the only record standing in her way is the one set by Ken Jennings. ABC's Alex Stone has the details.
It's a run that could go all the way to the top. Amy Schneider winning her 39th straight game.
A tagline for the 2008 Sex and the City movie urged viewers to get this verb away. Amy.
What is carried?
making her the player with the second highest number of back-to-back victories.
What is 1999 bottles of beer on the wall? 2007 year itch? What is 1912 angry men?
On Monday, Schneider beating Matamodio's 38-game streak and bringing home a load of money in the process, announced by the man who holds the all-time record.
A 39-day total of $1,319,800. You now have the second longest streak in Jeopardy history. Let's see how long it'll go, folks.
Ken Jennings, now one of the Jeopardy hosts, has 74 consecutive wins. Schneider asked on Good Morning America what advice Jennings has given her as she inches closer to his record.
The game is just to relax and have fun and, enjoy the moment. And that's definitely something I've been trying to do.
And while her run is not over, others who know what it's like to be on that stage, including Matamodio, are sending their congratulations. As to how Schneider is accomplishing the winning streak, Amodio says it's simple, her brain.
At the end of the day, the game is about knowledge, and Amy knows so much, and there's really nothing else to it.
As for Schneider's take, what's her secret?
I'm not really sure about a lot of it. I never expected to do this well, but I think that, the main secret is just being curious and spending my life learning a lot of stuff.
Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Wow, 20,000.
Now, your Storm Alert Team Forecast with Chief Meteorologist John Dessauer.
As expected, feeling a little more like winter around here today. Temperatures struggling to get out of the teens into the low 20s. Lincoln did make it to 22 degrees this afternoon. We had a fair amount of clouds, but now skies are beginning to clear. So we take a live look right now from Honda of Lincoln, looking off to the south and west. By the way, sunset getting closer to 5:30 in the afternoons now. We gain 2 more minutes of sunlight through the day tomorrow. We are going to start to notice some temperatures dropping tonight as the skies are clearing and the winds aren't terribly strong. They'll be light as we go through the overnight hours. That's what's going to set us up for a cold start tomorrow morning. Now, right now, the airport in Lincoln, 20 degrees. It's 19 in Firth, a little warmer up towards Branch Stoke Lake where it's 21. We've got 20 degrees coming in from Seward and 22 degrees coming in from Friend. Head out towards York and it's 19 degrees there and 18s in both Hastings as well as Kearney. So overall, a chilly day today. Winds fairly light out of the north, anywhere between calm winds to as much as about 8 or 9 miles per hour, giving us wind chills just a few degrees cooler than the actual air temperature. It feels like it's 9 in Columbus and it feels like it's 12 in Aurora. Feels like 11 right now in Hastings. As we go through the rest of the evenings, the good news is there's not going to be a lot of wind. Winds will be 3 to 5 miles per hour, if not even completely calm overnight. So that will help us a little bit, but air temperatures are going to drop down into the single digits. So even a 2 or 3 mile per hour wind will give us wind chill values just below 0. By 6 a.m., Stormcast suggesting 0 is what it will feel like in Lincoln, 1 below in Seward and Columbus. And that will likely drop a little bit more as we go towards the morning hours by 8, 9 o'clock. Some of us could be feeling like it's below 0. Air temperature-wise, we'll be near 0. I think the airport could get down to 1 degree. The city probably down to about 2 or 3 degrees. 3 in Seward, down to 1 in York, and 2 degrees for low temperature in Columbus. Sunshine for tomorrow morning. We'll start to see some clouds popping up towards the afternoon, perhaps. But for the most part, it's not too bad of a day. Temperatures will be warming. We'll be into the upper 20s by noon. So we head towards the afternoon. Our temperatures will start to get up into the upper 30s to near 40 degrees. In fact, I think we could hit 39 tomorrow in Lincoln, 38 in Beatrice, 39 in Grand Island, and perhaps 40 degrees in Kearney. Winds will begin to pick up tomorrow out of the south-southwest, 10 to 20 miles per hour with some gusts up to right around 30 miles per hour. And you'll see that on Stormcast by noon. Wind gusts right around the 30 mile per hour mark. And that will continue on through at least late afternoon. And then once the sun sets, those winds will begin to back down just a little bit. Now we'll see a gradual warming trend until we get to Saturday. Saturday should be the warmest day at least of the next 10 days. I think temperatures could make it into the mid 50s. So we're talking temperatures running 15 to 20 degrees above normal. Forecasting a high right now of 54 degrees in Lincoln. Then we start to turn our attention well out to the west. We've got to go about 4,400 miles away, just to the southeast coast of the Kamchatka Peninsula of Russia and the Aleutian Islands of Alaska. You'll see the swirl right here with this storm system that's moving north. Long-range computer models suggest that this will start coming our way and bring us a potential winter storm for Groundhog Day, with the potential for some freezing rain, maybe some snow is the way it looks right now, although this will change a lot over the next several days. We'll start to notice some initial clouds coming in from that weather system on Tuesday and even bring some light showers around here with a high of 45 degrees and then a high of 30 degrees for Groundhog Day next week with a high of 30. Freezing rain changing over to snow and then turning much colder behind that, especially if we have some accumulating snow on the ground, down to perhaps 3 below by the 4th day of February morning, or the morning of the 4th of February, and if a high is only into the teens as we go into the 3rd and 4th day of next month.
You know, we were just talking about this the other day. I think it was one of John's weather trivia questions. Just one negative number on there. We have not seen a lot of those, right, John?
We've not. We've seen 3 days so far going below 0. Typically, and I'm trying to remember what it was. 8. It was last night, I believe. Rod, you actually got it correct. 8 days on average for a winter when we see temperatures dropping below 0. So we're overdue for some colder temperatures coming our way. But if we get some snow on the ground, that will greatly help getting those temperatures even colder.
Then maybe we'll get the 15 that I guessed last night that was wrong. So.
Megan was just guessing what we would get this year. Rod was just doing the 30-year average.
Right. I knew what I was talking
about. Got it, okay.
All right, thank you, John. Hey, not a good day on Wall Street today. The Dow falling 67 points. NASDAQ is down 316. Here are your numbers. You're watching Channel 8, Nebraska's trusted news source.
Tonight, can more be done to stop the rise in gun violence in U.S. neighborhoods, plus the fears of a Russian invasion in Ukraine? We're there on the ground. More Americans turn to World News.
An amazing rescue was caught on camera.
Yeah, showing the quick actions and combined strength of a group, trying to help a woman who was trapped under a vehicle. Jeremy Roth has tonight's Take a Look at this.
Police officers and a bystander in Delaware saved a woman pinned under an SUV by lifting the vehicle off of her, and it was all caught on camera. A a warning some may find the video disturbing. Newcastle County officials told affiliate WPVI the 70-year-old became pinned after exiting the vehicle before putting it in park. After a neighbor's attempt to use a jack failed, the rescuers used their combined strength to free the woman. She was later taken to a hospital and treated for injuries. Officials commended the officers and bystanders, saying their quick thinking and physical actions protected the woman from further injury and possibly death. The FBI and officials in St. Louis, Missouri would like to wish you a happy Explosive Ordnance Recovery Week. Oh, it's a thing, all right. It's an effort to safely remove and dispose of potentially dangerous military ordnance in the community.
Seeing the stuff people find in swap meets, you find it in your uncle's basement. It's something that's been handed down from years.
It started off with a bang, as video of a Civil War cannonball being safely destroyed was showcased. Authorities say the effort isn't to prosecute anyone, just to keep people safe. Finally, people in Sunnyvale, California are avoiding bombs, but these are coming from a massive murder of crows that have taken over the town square. The Hitchcockian headache has been an issue for some time and has inspired many ideas to fend off the flock, such as laser pointers and even faux crow scarecrows.
We should just have that as Sunnyvale's mascot and really lean into it.
For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Well, the San Francisco 49ers may have a secret weapon as they head into this Sunday's NFC Championship game.
Emotional support French bulldogs. It sounds far-fetched, but it's true. Jamar Del Rosier says it started in 2018 when his breeding company got a call from the 49ers who said they wanted an official emotional support animal for players who might be having a rough time. Enter Zoe and Rookie, two of the most ferocious members of the 49ers family. I love that they even have their own jerseys.
Exactly.
That's really cute.
Yeah, if it helps the team, why not? So, all right, John, what do you say you give us a recap of that weather?
Yeah, for this evening, what's basic is it's going to be cold. Temperatures dropping through the teens this evening. Will be to 15 degrees by 8 o'clock, 11 degrees by 10 o'clock. Clear skies, and there's kind of an old rule of thumb when it comes to forecasting. It's the 10 by 10 at 10, meaning you take 10 degrees off of your 10 p.m. temperature. So that gives you an idea of temperatures tomorrow morning, right around 0 to 1 above, at least at the Lincoln Airport, probably in the city 2 or 3 degrees. And so it's going to be chilly with wind chill values dropping to as low as 2 below 0 to 9 below 0. Early tomorrow morning, so keep that in mind if you're getting up early to head out the door.
All right, thank you, John, and thank you so much for joining us.
World News Tonight is up next. We'll see you right back here at 6 o'clock.
Closed